Hello, I'm Chris, and I'm the head of podcasts for DC Thomson Media. This is a quick video guide to showing you how to get the best out of recording voiceovers using the built-in microphone on the Zoom H5. Now the H5 is quite a complicated looking bit of kit, but it should be set up all for you, so all you should really have to do is press a button to start recording and press it again to stop recording. But we produced this video to give you some tips and tricks on how to get the best sound out of it so that you sound at your best. The first thing you want to do is to find a good space to record. Now, audio doesn't like big, echoey spaces with lots of hard surfaces that create reverberations. We like small spaces. So small rooms are good. Rooms with lots of soft furnishings are even better. That can often mean a bedroom, or it might even be a large cupboard or a closet that you can record in quietly, putting lots of soft things around you to deaden the sound. You want to get comfortable because you might be here for a while recording. It might take a few takes, so make sure you've got a comfy seat and you're set up comfortably. Next is positioning the microphone. Now I'm using the Zoom H5 right now and it is just below where the camera can see. So it's positioned just out of shot but as close as it can be to my mouth. It's also directly in front of me because this microphone is quite sensitive to where it is left and right. And it's pointing up at my mouth, as you can see. Now this microphone is quite sensitive to what we call handling noise. It will pick up noise through the table. You can reduce this by placing it on a cushion or something to act as a barrier between the table and the microphone, but best of all is just not to touch the table. Even touching the table gently, as I'm doing now, will pick up some noise and some thumps that will come through the microphone. If I was to type, then it sounds really quite bad, so you want to avoid touching the table that the microphone is sat on. Look at the side of the H5 and you'll see the power switch. To switch on, you need to slide this down towards the bottom of the device and hold it there for a second or two until it switches on, and then you can release it. To switch it off again at the end of the process, do the same thing. The next thing we want to do is arm the microphones. That means get the microphones that we're going to use ready for recording. On the front of the H5, there are buttons marked L, R, 1 and 2. We can ignore 1 and 2, it doesn't matter whether they're on or off, although ideally they should both be off because we're not using them. But the ones we want to be on, that is with a little red light lit, is L and R. That controls the microphone that's on the top of the H5. Press L or R and both will light up at the same time. Now the trickiest thing to get right in any audio recording is the level, the sensitivity of the microphone. You can ignore the bottom two dials, they're irrelevant to what we're doing here, and only concentrate on the top dial, the one that's connected to the two microphones at the very top of the H5. I found that a setting of around 9 is probably correct for what we're doing, but you may need to investigate. And this is where it helps to have somebody else in the room with you because it's quite hard to talk naturally and to look at the display at the same time. What we're trying to get is for the line that's bouncing up and down as you talk to be in the middle of the screen at a roughly natural speaking volume. If the line is too low, that is, it's too far towards the left of the screen, turn the dial to a larger number. If the volume is too high, that is to say that that bar is reaching towards the right of the screen, or even more importantly, if it's actually touching the right of the screen, then turn this dial down to a lower number. It might take a bit of practice and it might take a bit of experimentation, especially once you've settled into recording your audio, which is why it's helpful to have somebody else in the room with you to keep an eye on those levels as you're recording. You can plug in a pair of headphones and monitor it yourself, but it's too unscientific and it's better to have somebody watching the level meters on the front of the display. Now press record to start recording. It's the button that's marked with a red dot on the front of the device. When you press that, a little red light will light up next to it and you'll see numbers starting to count up in time on the display. That shows you that you're definitely recording. Once you've pressed that, it will help to give your audio and video editor a marker to help them synchronize and match up the video from your camera with the audio from the H5. And the best way to do that is to use a clapperboard like you might see in the movies. And if you don't happen to have a clapperboard hanging around your house, that's okay. Make sure your camera can see your hands and then do a single sharp clap. And that way that'll create a spike in the audio that your editor can use to match up the audio from the H5 and the video from your camera. Once you are recording, don't stop. Just keep the audio running and do as many takes as you like until you're comfortable you've got a good result out of the end of it. When you have finished, press the record button again to stop. And if you wish, you can then press the play button to plug in some headphones and listen back to what you've recorded. But generally speaking, you get some terrific results and we can't wait to hear what you've made. Thank you so much for watching.